Good evening. I am Karen Medina, and for today I am going to answer some questions based on an interview. The first question is, tell me about yourself. I am Karen Medina. I'm 21 years old. I was born in Tagaima, Tolima. Our some family and we decided that I had to study in Bogota to get a better future. So after a certain time, I decided to study for bachelor's degree at Uniminuto University because I consider that nowadays it is an important career in which you can find your knowledge, and also that I love to teach, and I have worked in a kindergarten, and the experience it was really grateful. So it was really wonderful to be able to expand my knowledge. Okay, so the other question, how do you hear about this position? I hear about this position in some on social media because I like sometimes to check Instagram. That is a good app in which you can get a lot of information. And so there was an ad that caught my attention because I will be like my ideal job. And also I caught my attention for that because I want to be so continue being a teacher. And for the reason I decide to apply for this. The third question, why do you want to work at this institution? I would like to work with this institution because it's a good institution that provides many opportunities as a teacher since it's highly recognized at the national level. The best is always my know and know that it can be, I can give my 100% of myself to institution. I love to teach. I love to transmit the knowledge. I love to provide support, the confidence for my students because that's really important. Being motivating and also like the values, to provide values. And I have worked in an institution and it always consider me like as a good teacher because it's something in which you have to express something that you have to keep in mind that is because you liked. No, it's just a salary. No, that's not. It's because you want to do it. Okay, so the other question, what did you decide to become a teacher? Um, I decided to be a teacher because first of all, I am a person that has a vocation to promote the knowledge. It's motivating me to trust and to meet new people. I think that wasn't the keys that so to dedicate myself to this profession. And also because I remember that one day I had to teach chemistry. And so I told me like, okay, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to try. And it was really good. The student had good grades and also he was really happy. It was for me really good to have someone to feel how that emotion caught my attention, how you can feel a good emotion when you can see someone that is smile. So that's really good in my life. Mm, well, so what type of class management structure would you implement if you were hired? I consider that if I were hired, I want to take into account the time. That's really important because sometimes regarding the lesson plans, we have to keep in mind that we can we can't lose the time. So every minute, it's really important for us, for the students. Every minute that you can't have a game. And also the other is the methodology to obtain good meaning for learning and the space. So I mean that you have to check the place, that is to say, like for instance, the current distributions or regarding the table, the share, or even the materials to implement, depending on the theme. Like for example, if I'm going to teach music or if I'm going to teach soccer, So the space that's really important, and also the environment. For example, I consider that it's really good sometimes to have a change in which the students can implement other areas and to challenge the environment to the motivation. So that's really important to get our knowledge. The other question, how have you used or how will you use technology in the classroom? Well, so I'm really curious. I have this with a lot of apps that are really useful. I have discovered useful search technologies, like for instance, Prezi PowerPoint, the right world, and also that's British Council for Kids, so etc. Um, that's really cool because it's something innovate and the students can capture attention and they could learn easy. Well, so and also that I am going to continue discovering more technological applications. I am really curious and to help the good development of the learning of my future students using that motivational tools. That's really good for the future of the students. Well, so the other question, what continuing education classes, workshops, training, etc. have you attended? So, well, um, regarding this, I was working in Sanitas kindergarten. It was a really good school. I attended to training sessions that were really interesting to expand my knowledge. I remember that we went to the bilingual enseñanza, Colegio de la Enseñanza. There is recovery in the north, and that was really good because of the experience. It got my attention and were many people that were really important to share knowledge. And so that was really good to expand my knowledge of the world there. And we also play some games based on, for instance, some subjects like music or creative arts, literature, so among others. And after that, share the knowledge to learn about them and so on. And also at the end, I remember that we were talking about the methodology strategies that we can implement in our students. Also, question about the connection, the communication, all based on the students, but in the kindergarten. Well, how will you deal with a student who is habitually late? Well, that question is really interesting. So personal, but I do to have like a dialogue in which I would like to know why that situation. So, because I consider that is a situation that in which we have to pay attention because the students can lose the class. So also to be a very strategic teacher, to draw attention to the classes in such a way that the students pay to improve their habits and to enjoy their school and create a reward system. That's a really interesting idea. So if the student, so he could have more motivation to go to study. So if he had a prize, so he could motivate more and also he could learn more, he could arrive at time. The other question, how will you engage a reluctant student? So first of all, I consider that as a teacher, in my case, I will take into account the methodological basis and the strategy in which implementing the teacher faces this situation. I believe that one should act the dialogue. So I repeat it because it's very important, the dialogue, and it calms the manner. So first of all, keep calm, and after that, so the student themselves can exercise that discipline. Well, the other question, what would you say to an angry parents about their child's grades? I consider that as a teacher, we have to be kind, so the patient always. At the beginning, we could say that's obviously. So if we disagree, I consider that we have to say, I agree with you because so they have the reason. We have to go with calm. And that's a difficult situation sometimes. There are lots of dialogue. So I would like to tell him like to remain calm and that the student is a development process in which it requires time and support as teacher and as a father. And also I consider there is it is a matter of time and they carry more effort and this can improve by having faith and hope that everything that be achieved and if you want because if you want so you can do it. Yeah, so the dialogue that's really important. Take the time, the support regarding the teacher and the family. That's really good. And also that I like our report about how is the students regarding the connection, communication, among others. What will you do if you suspect neglect or abuse on one of your students? So where I consider that is depending on the situation. For example, if the situation is really terrible, in my case, I will comment and also that I have to keep in mind the institution, the norms about the institution, or other thing that I would like to do is an emergency call to determine the further investigation and provide all the support and confidence to the students to make him like to have his life a better one. The other question, if you notice as a children behavior in your class, how will you deal with the situation? In this case, I would like to provide enough confidence with my students and also pay attention about the areas about all the students and based on that, giving some example, implementing the socialization in class and overall dialogue. And well, so that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.